Hey, and welcome to the Energy Revolution. For this is the show for those who know in their heart that they are ready for change, whether it's changing their own life or changing the wider world. And let's face it, right now, it needs us more than ever. My name is Yvette Taylor and I'm your host, and we are going to be talking about all things energy, from the world of science all the way through to spirituality, to how you implement these changes to really create lasting change in your own life. If you are totally new to our community or to EAM, the Energy Alignment Method, then please do come along and visit discoveream.com/pod. This is no ordinary show, and what you'll find here are the answers you've been searching for, and I absolutely know there is a reason that you're listening to this today. What is this episode really all about? Very recently, this is a bit of a different topic that we're going to be exploring today, and it's time that we actually talk about what is happening in the world right now and how this is affecting each and every single one of us. Some of you, some of what we might share today might be a little bit controversial for some, yet I invite you to listen, because whichever side of the fence you are on, this is something that's impacting everyone. You may be thinking that this conversation isn't coming from a very spiritual place, but I want you to realize that absolutely everything is energy. And that is what EAM, the Energy Alignment Method, is all about. The work we do with EAM, the work I do, my life mission, everything I've done for the last 22 years, actually, as I figured it out yesterday, has always been about empowering people to see and understand themselves, and to realize that whatever they're thinking, whatever they're feeling, whatever they're saying, seeing, believing, experiencing in life is coming from within them. And to know that the fear, the pain, the hurt, the anger, the feeling of stuckness, the frustration, the problems we have with our physical health, the things that are going on in our relationships, the problems we have with our finances, the inability to move forward in our life, the problems we see in the world on a global scale, all come down to one thing and one thing alone. And that one thing is energy. And I know I'm not the first person in the world or on the planet to share this at all. And yet, this message has been shared for centuries, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And yet, when you look back throughout the centuries, it's always the people, the messengers, who have been sharing these messages that have been quietened, that have been shut down, that have been humiliated in public, that have had their voices taken away. Right now, there are so many people speaking out against the current narrative. And the ones who are speaking the loudest and sharing the messages which derail the current big picture that is meant to be being portrayed are the people who are being quietened the most. Now, if that doesn't raise alarm bells in your head or your heart or your soul, when people who have spent their entire life dedicated to health, well-being, mindset, psychology, medication, creating medication, working in government organisations, working within the NHS, working for some of the large corporate companies that might be manufacturing certain things that everybody on the planet are taking right now. If the people who have spent their entire life and career are speaking out about things, and they are speaking against the narrative, and they are being quietened, and they are losing everything, and they are putting themselves and their family at risk in order to get their voice and their message out, does that speak louder to you? than listening to the narrative that's being portrayed in some of the other mainstream media, news / government organisations, etc. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because really, I don't want you listening to anybody out there. I don't want you listening to me. I don't want you listening to incredible people whose names I can't even say, or I can, but the video might get taken down, which is absolutely ludicrous in and of itself. But there are incredible people out there, and I will say their names at some point, who are standing for you and I and our freedoms. But I'm saying that I don't even want you to listen to them, because the real person that I want you to listen to is you. I want you to tune back in and listen to your heart and soul. I want you to listen to what's going on inside. Your soul is absolutely calling you to listen to it, to listen to the truth, your truth. Why do we need to face what's going on? Why do we need to see what's really happening in the world right now? We all have these, these moments, I suppose, where we we catch ourselves thinking, well, what's the point? Why am I having this? Why am I living this existence? We all have them. No one is immune. And even if you're awake or aware of what's going on, it still massively impacts you. With all that has happened and is happening, we have been beaten, literally, on so many levels, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And if you could see the impact of this damage on your energy field, you'd be screaming from the rooftops, and you would want someone to be getting arrested for grievous bodily harm. If you could actually see the physical impact on your energy body, just because it isn't a punch in the face and a black eye, it's still there. Your energy bodies, you've probably heard me talk about this in previous episodes, you have layers of your aura, layers of your energy field. It isn't just a spiritual concept, it's been proven to exist. And you get impacted in the same way as someone punching you in the face when your heart gets broken, when someone lies to you, when you are constantly bombarded with messages of fear. It impacts you, it lands on you, it punches you in the face, but on an energetic level. I'm not sure if that's the best description, but there is so much impact to all of us, no matter where we're at in our journey of awareness. And I want you to realize that you have the power to change it. It's all in your hands. Yes, we might be getting impacted by these things, but I want to share with you on the show today how you can use EAM, how we can start doing some work on shifting some of these things. We also need to see that we have been living a lie. This is one of the hardest things to probably really understand or accept. And this is going to be one of the hardest things for some people who aren't even aware of what's going on yet to actually realize, is that everything that we thought that was in our reality, in our shared reality, in our collective reality, in our society, in our communities, was never true. Now, if any of you have seen The Matrix, and if you haven't seen the new Matrix, please go and see Matrix Resurrection. Oh my God, it's a documentary. It's not a movie, it's a documentary. In terms of being within the bubble, taking the blue pill, the life that we've been living. And the reason I'm saying that is I think I can speak on behalf of many, many people that the gift that this last 2 years has really given us has been to go within, to stop a little, to think a little, to realize what is actually important to us, to realize that actually a lot of the things that we were spending our time and money and energy and attention on creating or focusing on were not actually important. The big car, the big house, the blah, 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 the blah, 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 the materialistic aspects of our lives, which, don't get me wrong, I am not one of those spiritual coaches that's like, oh yeah, let's all live in a tin hut. No, don't get me. I love money and I love nice stuff. And I know, and I know you know, that they are not the most important aspects of life. Health, loved ones, connection, freedom, unity, trust, truth, empowerment, well-being, so many other important elements that are really what life is all about. Happiness, joy. These are the things that each and every single person on the planet really wants. And right now, the reason I say that we've been living a lie is that we have consistently given our power away to structures, systems, organizations who love to give us the idea that we're free, but truthfully, they have been and they are narrating and creating a story that many of us have been living within without knowing it. And I think one of the things, as I said a moment ago, that's going to be quite scary for people who haven't seen this, I think is realizing that everything they thought that was, it is actually a lie. And the people that are meant to be there in place to keep us safe and structure our society and organize things and all of that is a lie. And they aren't there for you. They aren't there for me. They aren't there for us. They are there for themselves. Now, you're probably thinking, Yvette, this really is the most miserable podcast episode you've done. And I'm saying all of this to you because we have to see what's there in front of us in the reality in order for us to then understand what created it in the energy field. And that's where we then step in and we can go and do the work on this. The gift for me in realizing that we've been living a lie is actually, it means that what's falling away is thinking that someone or something outside of you has the power to control you or your life. Ever had, they never did, but we chose to give that power away to them. Many people chose to give their power away to them. Now, the beautiful gift in all of this, and I want you to hear this, is that the power has always been within you. Always has been. Always has been. Always will be. And no matter what is going on in the wider world, no matter what people say or think or try to coerce you or control you to do, the only way they can ever do it to you is when you do not know or understand the power that you have inside, within. So the gift they are giving you, the gift they are giving everybody, is an opportunity to choose. To slip into, oh, my life is falling apart and the government is falling apart and the world is falling apart and this stuff is happening to me. Or, okay, I've been living a lie for a while and actually I don't need anyone or anything outside of me to tell me who I am or what I can do or what I can or can't do with myself, my life, or my body. Screw you. I stand in my power. I stand in my truth. I stand for who I am. I stand for my life, and I will create and be and do and go wherever I choose to, because that's who I am. Now, that might have sounded like some kind of angry teenager, but I understand that there will be a lot of anger for people as we go through realizing that so much of our life has been controlled and manipulated. Of course, anger is going to come up. And these are some of the things that we need to work on letting go of. Anyway, I have digressed a lot from what I was supposed to be sharing. So, we've been living a lie. We've sussed that one out. We have to stand in our power. Now, I know that these are really cliche words that we often hear in the world of spirituality. What I really mean by this, with what's happening in the world right now, we need to stop saying yes to the manipulation, to the propaganda that is happening, and to what's happening in the world right now. We need to stop saying yes. Whichever way you look at it, whichever side of the fence you're on, whatever you've chosen to do with your body, we are being treated. We are allowed, many, not we all are. I'm just going to say this generally, okay? Generally, people are being treated with zero respect. If you look back across the last 2 years and look at the mainstream messaging from corporate organizations, from big pharma, from the government, from leaders across the world who are all saying the same message. Don't disbelieve they're reading from the same script. Okay, that's a whole other story. But we are being treated with zero respect, zero truth in what's coming out. Complete lies in order to protect or create a narrative in which they wish for you and I and everyone else to follow. And slowly, choices, freedoms are being taken away behind the scenes in ways that you do not yet know or do not yet see. Now, I know that there will probably be some people who comment underneath this video that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but just rewind a little bit. A year ago, people were being called conspiracy theorists for many of the things that we now see happening in our reality. And even now they're happening, and it's plain as day to see, it's still not being discussed. It's still not being aired anywhere in the mainstream narrative, because it goes against the narrative that wants to be created. And you can continue to name call, you can continue to label, you can continue to try and push it away if you choose to, but it doesn't stop that being the truth. Whichever side of the fence you're on, you're being lied to on the whole. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's made people feel scared, petrified. It's actually called gaslighting. For anyone who isn't familiar with the term, when somebody tries to make you feel like you are the one going mad because your heart is saying one thing, your brain is saying something, and yet the message that's being shared is like, oh no, of course it's not that. It's this thing over here. Oh, how can you think that? You're going mad. Imagine that in a relationship. Imagine that in a one-to-one relationship for a moment, where you're with a partner and you know that they've said something, and then 5 minutes later they're like, oh no, I never said that. Oh, we didn't mean that. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Oh, well, actually what I said was not from this thing. It was with this thing, which is a completely different thing, but you're not allowed to pay attention to that. And oh, we just made a mistake there. And oh, we just screwed up with that. And then making you feel like you're the mad one when you're questioning what's being said, when you're questioning the narrative, when things do not make sense to you, you're the one that's mad. Or when you speak up and say, actually this isn't right, and actually this is the truth, and actually these are the facts, and actually here is the data that completely disproves what you're saying, you're then labeled the mad one, the crazy one, the conspiracy theorist. You would never tolerate that in a relationship. So why are we allowing it to be tolerated in society? We've been made to think that everything's happening for our own good. Mass medication, lockdown, all of this has been created, and people are scared to speak the truth. People are living in fear in their jobs, in their livelihood. They're losing their jobs, they're losing their livelihoods, they're losing family members, they're losing loved ones, they're losing important things in their life because they trusted people in a position of power. They trusted the narrative. They trusted people with their health, with their well-being, with their family, with their children. Whichever way you look at it, we have all, in most countries, I won't say every country, but most countries, been victims of coercion, manipulation, gaslighting, and narcissism. We have been in emotionally controlling, manipulated relationships for longer than the last 2 years. It's just the last 2 years it's got really bad. Now, for those people who see and recognize and understand those kind of behaviors, it hasn't been too bad. Thank God I've had EAM to get through the last 2 years. That's all I can say. But for those who don't understand themselves or understand what's going on, they are the ones who are now mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically traumatized by what's going on, feeling like they cannot trust themselves, cannot trust their guidance, because their heart is screaming from the rooftops, don't listen, what's going on? This isn't right. And yet we just keep getting bombarded with more and more information that says, oh no, it's not this. Oh no, don't think for yourself. Oh no, what your heart and intuition, obviously they're not saying this on the news, but what your heart and intuition is saying is complete lies. Like, listen to your heart. Listen to your soul. It will always speak the truth. And when it's trying from the deep, dark depths down in there where you've shoved it down and made it go quiet and not let it out for so long, listen to your heart. Where something doesn't feel right, listen to your heart and trust your intuition. Don't listen to the fear. Trust your intuition. It's a quieter voice. It's a much quieter voice. Now, of course, on top of the mental and emotional anguish, we've got the impact on our health. We have known for such a long time that stress is the number one cause of all physical health conditions. Stress is the number one cause. 60% of all physical health conditions are caused by stress. I don't need to be spiritual. I don't need to be on either side of the camp. It's a known fact in Western and Eastern medicine. Stress is the number one cause of illness. Now, within EAM and energy work, what we call stress in your energy field is resistances and reversals created by the impact of everything that is held in your energy field, which we were talking about at the beginning. So all of the things that have happened before all of this, all the things that have happened in your past, all of the things that have happened in your life, all of the stresses that you're carrying, all of the emotions that you're carrying, all of the fear that you're carrying, all of the anger, all of the frustration, all of the resentment, all of the trauma of things that have happened in your past, all of the pain of people who've broken your heart, all of the good things are held in your energy field too. I'm making it sound like it's just a container of negativity. It really isn't. But everything that we've been under is now impacting your health. And yet, the whole story or narrative that sat behind all of this is about protecting your health. Excuse me? So this is about protecting your health, yet the number one thing, and we know throughout all streams of science that we can all agree on and have done for decades, that stress is the number one cause of all health conditions. Yet we're going to create the most stress in 7 billion people's, 8 billion people's, 7 or 8 billion people's lives over a consistently chronic, prolonged period of time by inducing lockdowns, separation, allowing people to lose their jobs, their livelihood, their businesses, telling them that the only way that they can get better is by taking an experimental vaccine to get out of something that really is, I shouldn't have even said that word. I should probably delete that from this. That you had a 99.8 survival rate from in the first place. Yeah? And this is about my health. Is it really? This is about my health. So why did you not teach me meditation? Why did you not teach me how to release the stress? Why did you not tell me that I need to be taking vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, selenium? Why did you not tell me that turmeric and so many of the other nutritional things that will really help me boost my immunity and my body's health system would actually help me? Why did you take away life-saving drugs from people off the market and make sure that you completely annihilated anyone within the medical health profession who was telling me that off-the-shelf, over-the-counter drugs that have been on the market for 65 years were allowed? This was about my health. I'm supposed to believe that. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. And most importantly, we need to do the work on looking after our health. The number one way is doing the work on releasing the resistance, the stress, the fear, the overwhelm, the anger, the frustration, the neglect, the trauma. Because once you release all of that from your energy system, no longer are those things causing what we call stress in your energy field, and your body can go back into a place of being able to heal itself, which is what your body does naturally. It always has, always will. When the stresses and causes of the illness or stressor or health condition have been removed. And I have seen it happen with EAM with thousands and thousands of people across the years. Now, I am going to do a whole separate episode on this, but there was a recent piece of work by Matthias de Tismé, and I hope I've explained his name properly, an incredible Belgian researcher who has spoken about it's called mass formation, mass psychosis. How on earth have we now divided into 3 completely separate groups, which I am going to talk about in a moment actually. How have we divided our communities when truthfully everybody wants unity? Nobody wants division. Right now, with everything that's going on, everyone wants to be together. We are causing more trouble, more problems, more disconnection than we possibly even had before. So, I mean, I've probably spent a little bit longer on those bits at the beginning than I should have done, but not should. Who says? I can say what I want to say. This is the energy revolution. And I'm sharing all of these because I want to speak to it, because in some of the following episodes, we're going to deep dive into doing the work or speaking more deeply and more in depth about how we can use energy work to overcome them. But in order to do that, we first of all actually need to speak to what the challenges are. So some of the big problems, definitely fear. Fear is the biggest virus. End of. I have cried my eyes out so many times because I know with EAM and other complementary therapies and other mindset techniques how easy it is, how easy it is to release fear. And if fear disappeared, when fear disappears, I know that this would all be gone in a moment. People want freedom of choice. are being labelled anti-vaxxers, and this is all to do with the propaganda and manipulation. Our voices are being stripped from us, and we are all just being told to shh, you must comply, when we really need to be standing in our power. We've got separation between our families, our friends, our colleagues, because we have different views about what's going on in the world and we can't speak about it. So it's easier to divide ourselves and stop speaking to people, or the anger and frustration comes up. And this is ultimately separating us as humanity. It's separating our communities when what we really all want and need is to be coming together. So many people, as we shared earlier, don't realise that no one has the power over you, and that you have every right to speak your truth from a place of love. This doesn't mean when people talk about speaking their truth, it's like, I'm just speaking my truth. No, but you've just ripped somebody else to a million pieces. This isn't about ripping people to pieces. This is about coming from a place of love and doing the work on your anger and your frustration and your fears and your overwhelms before you communicate. Because then you're coming from a place of love. You're coming from a place of alignment. Even if what you're sharing isn't necessarily what someone wants to hear, the negative anger isn't coming across with that. Really what we all want is freedom, connection, support, and to be standing together. Now, some of you may have actually seen my recent video, my recent live that I did on Facebook, where I did the most unattractive snot cry ever. And actually, it was the first time that I came out and shared this. I've deliberately chosen over the last year or so not to make a very public or even political stand about what's happening in the world, because EAM, the work I do, my mission, everything I've done for the last 20 years, always has been about empowering people to see and understand themselves and to find what's actually going on inside themselves, and to realize that whatever they're thinking, feeling, believing, seeing, or experiencing is coming from within. It's coming from their energy. And all of the things that we have going on in our lives, as we shared at the very beginning, the anger, the frustration, the depression, the health conditions, etc., all come from that space. Now, the reason, truthfully, the reason I didn't share is because I didn't want our community, I didn't want the EAM community to become divided. I know how many people within our energetic empowerment community have chosen, for whatever reasons, to take the jab. And I have very strong opinions about that, not that people have chosen it, but because I have stood for health and empowerment and your well-being and your body's ability to protect and heal itself from anything for the last 20 years. Just to put this really clearly where you think I stand on medication in general, I don't even take paracetamol. From an old school raver who used to be pushing everything up her nose and double dropping whatever, I don't even take paracetamol. Now, I have no issues with anyone who does. I have no judgments around anybody who chooses that. My wish is and always will be to support people to do the work on healing themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, in order to allow the body to come back into the place where it can heal itself. I've always stood for that, and I always will stand for that. And I'm not going to stop sharing that either. So I'm saying this to you because whether you have chosen to or not, I still stand for that for you. I still stand for that for everybody. Your body is incredible. Your energy system is incredible. And I understand whatever reasons, thoughts, beliefs you had or have that have allowed you to justify that for yourself was entirely your choice. And I also know that your body has the power to change anything. So there is still work for us to do in order to boost your immune system, to shift what's going on in your energy, to work on physical health conditions, to work on your symptoms, to get yourself in a place where you don't need anything. Don't even need a paracetamol, because you understand how to use your body's natural energy system to let this stuff go, and you don't even get the headaches in the first place. I want to get you there. I want you to be in that place where you're so incredibly empowered and so healthy that you don't even think about needing something else outside of you in order to be well. Now, I'm sharing a little bit of this here because that day, particularly when I did the big snot cry, and actually when I decided to start talking out about this, was because I was literally having, I don't want to say a dark day, but a down day. And I was looking at everything that's going on in the world and thinking to myself, like, I failed. I failed with EAM. I failed with getting this message out there. I failed with reaching the millions and millions of people that I wanted to reach with this message that you can heal yourself of anything, and all of this will disappear if you just let go of the fear, and you don't need to be putting anything in your body. Your body can change and heal and help itself when you give it the opportunity to. And I was literally having probably a bit of a peed off conversation with the universe. Like, why am I here? What am I doing? What have the last 7 years been for? Is there any point in me sharing this? Is anyone ever going to listen? What is the point? Literally 4 minutes later, completely out of the blue, a dear friend sent me an incredibly powerful voice message. He's a very, 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 very talented artist. And he's been writing these very inspirational kind of poems and quotes. He'd sent it to me and a few other people, but the timing was so perfect. And actually, I might try and slot it in here so that you can hear it for yourself if he'll give me the permission. But what he shared truly spoke to my heart, and hopefully, if I have popped it in, you'll hear this for yourself. I really felt like I'd been biting my lip for too long, feeling like everyone was blind. Not everyone, but so many people were blind that they couldn't see. And I couldn't understand, although I could understand, but I couldn't understand why people were making choices. No, I could understand, but it was heartbreaking to see. People making choices for themselves, their friends, their family, and their loved ones from a disempowered place. Because I know in my heart and soul that when you live your life in a place of alignment, truly in alignment, and you know the power that you have, there is no way that you would make decisions that would harm you, because your soul would never allow it. That message was literally my kick in the arse from the universe, to stand up and start speaking about this, because I know in my heart, my soul, that EAM is one tool, but love is really the answer to all of this. And actually to the point where I thought I knew, but now I know that everything that we've all been doing, and there's not just me, there are millions of people on the planet who've been on this journey of empowerment and sharing with others and lifting other people up, that this is really what it's all kind of been for. Now, that probably sounds really like, who do you think you are, blah, blah, blah. I don't need anybody else to approve or believe or to, I don't even know what the words are. I don't need anybody else to acknowledge that. I know in every inch of my soul that this was why I have been driven for the last 20 years in doing this work, why nothing else in my life has ever been as fulfilling, heartbreaking, hard, but it's also the thing that I have never given up on, and I know I'm not going to give up on it now. So this is my public declaration to you. Expect me to be more outspoken. Expect me to be more truthful. Expect me to stand for you, your life, and your freedom. Even when you think it doesn't need to be. Expect me and millions of others to keep on moving forwards, to share truth, and to reconnect you and the whole of our planet back to the power that we have. So, let's give myself a little moment. I'm not going to stop. And any of you who know me really well will know how much of a stubborn mood bag I can be sometimes. And actually, that's a bit of a gift. It's a gift and also a little bit of a curse sometimes too. Now, all of these are because I want us to get to some solutions. I know we've spent a long time painting the big picture. But as I shared earlier, everything we do within EAM, this isn't just a like, oh, I'm doing this now because it's the in thing. I've been doing this for 22 years and EAM for the last 7 years. And now the drive, I don't even like the word drive, now the understanding and the desire to get this out there is even more and even bigger. So now it's time to switch to the solutions. We do not need to necessarily spend as much time talking about the big problems because we all know we can see what some of the problems are, but we need to start speaking about them in order that we change them, not fighting them. This is a conversation definitely for another episode. Not fighting what's there, because the more energy we put into this, the more attention, the more focus that we give to it, the more that we make it bigger. But we also do need to understand what the problems are so that we can do the energy work on shifting them and releasing them and letting them go. So let's start thinking of some of the solutions. First of all, some of the solutions to this. First, we have to understand ourselves. We have to realize that the solutions lie in something beyond the 3D aspects of ourselves and our lives. When you understand yourself and the world around you from a 5D, 5-dimensional or above energy perspective, really, you see that in order to solve this, we have to step beyond what already exists. In order to solve this, we have to step beyond what already exists. And why? Because what already exists is what we had already created in the energy space. It's like trying to put out a fire with a thimble. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a thimble of water. If we try to keep on solving the problems that we face by dealing with them in our 3D space and thinking that's the only place that we can fix it, we're doing a tiny piece of the work from where the issues actually, or where the challenges actually lie. All of this happened because of the thoughts, the emotions, the beliefs, the energy, the attention, the projection that was given to this situation by not one or two people, but billions of people. Billions of people have focused their energy and attention onto this. And this is what has allowed it to become our common shared reality. Now I know there'll be some very grounded, practical people who say, it's because there is a virus. Yes. And when we step into the world of energy, that virus is only able to spread when your body is in a disempowered place. When you're in an empowered place, you don't get sick. You might be in a room full of other people who have got it, but your body's immune system would protect you from it. When you're stressed out, when you're overwhelmed, when you aren't taking care of yourself, when you're not taking your vitamins, when you're not boosting your immune system, when you are tired, when you're exhausted, that is when your body's energy system opens up and allows anything to get in. And I'm not just talking about COVID, I'm talking about everything. Even a sicky bug, even a tummy bug, even when you get the squits, it's exactly the same process. And in another episode, I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you what is actually happening in your energy system that creates your immune system. And when you see it from that perspective, you'll be doing work on your energy system all the time, because that is your immunity. Now, I'm saying this having had the what's it. I've had it. And I know I got it because I was stressed out, I was overwhelmed, and I hadn't been taking care of my vitamins. I hadn't been taking my vitamins. I didn't take my vitamins for 2 weeks. And then I went into certain places and I know I picked it up. But I got over it in 3 days because I did the work and took my vitamins. Now, I know that's not the reality for everyone, but I'm sharing that because we first have to understand ourselves. If we want to solve this, we cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting to get a different result. Now, one of the other big things that we need to do, and this is again been for humanity as a whole, way before the what's it, we have to move from fear to love. One of the quickest ways for us to shift all of this is to release this emotion of fear. Fear is a powerful energy. If you think about true fear, imagine a rabbit in the headlights or a deer in the headlights when you're driving in the car. They do not stop in the middle of the road because they are unaware. They stop in the middle of the road because their body is literally paralyzed by fear. Everything stops. Everything shuts down. Their brain function goes. And they look like this. And when you're in that fear state, everything in your awareness is at such a heightened state. You are open, you are programmable, you are an open vessel, you are a window. You will suck in every single piece of information that is told to you, whether it's true or not. Your filters have disappeared entirely. You are literally a sucking vortex, sucking everything in. Now, when we are in that true fear state, not just, oh, I'm a little bit scared, I'm scared of that spider. I'm talking about true fear. In EAM, we call that the reversed energy state. Think about situations in your own life when you have been stuck, when you've been traumatized, when you have been in a situation that you had no strategy, no coping mechanism for. True fear will paralyze you, and it can keep you trapped for years and years and years, and in many cases, other lifetimes. Yet we can let go of fear. When we can release fear from the population, from us individually, when we step out of fear, our brain function literally comes back. Because when we're in fear, our brain shuts down. We go into protection mode. We're unable to think for ourselves. We shut ourselves down from one another. We shut off our intuition, which is our heart, which is our soul, which is our guidance system. And if fear no longer existed in mass consciousness, this whole facade would disappear, because everyone would just be like, what are you chatting about? This is all a load of rubbish. I can think clearly for myself. I can see from the factual information that this is all a load of lies and is actually a big story that's just being perpetuated through mainstream media and news. And I'm not saying that in any way to diminish anyone's experience or any losses that they've had over the last 2 years. I'm talking about the bigger picture on the whole. We have to let go of fear. We have to release the fear. Because it's this constant bombardment of fear that we are getting from every angle, from our friends, from our family, from the media, that we are taking on board and so many people are believing is true. Even when we know in our hearts that something's off. Yet when we are in love, oh my God, just think about the energy of love for a moment. Imagine it's the first time that you've held a newborn baby in your family. Imagine it's the first time that you've maybe not the first time, but made love to someone you truly connect with. Imagine it's that hug, it's that embrace after you haven't seen your best friend for the last 2.5 years. Imagine holding your child. Love is powerful. Love fills a room and more. Love is connecting. When we're in love, our energy moves from our kidneys, which is our fear down here. Our energy moves up to our heart and above. It's like our whole energy and attention shifts up. When we're in love, we look up. We stop looking in. We stop looking at ourselves. We stop looking at our lives. We stop being in. We look up. And when we look up, we start to see other people around us. When we are no longer in fear, we have love. We have abundance to give to others. We are compassionate. We are giving, we are understanding, we are peaceful, we are kind, we have patience. Our brain literally starts to work again. You think clearly, you become far more cognitive, you start to listen to your intuition, you tune in to your internal guidance. You see and listen and build community. Now, one of the things that we did with EAM probably a good 3 years ago, we have a journey, a 7-day, 8-day program called Fear to Love. And it's actually one of our introductory journeys for people coming in to learn EAM and working on their emotions, letting go of emotions like fear and stress and anger and overwhelm and pain and anger, jealousy, powerlessness, depression, all over the space of 8 days. And we took 17,000 people across a couple of years. We took 17,000 people through this journey. And the results were amazing. Within 7 days, people went from feeling fear and disempowerment to empowered. It was a 275% increase in the number of people who felt empowered from when they began to the end of 7 days of putting this into practice. Now, has it been a proper peer-reviewed, double-blind, blah, 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 blah study? No, not yet. But hey, at the moment, it seems that we don't need to be doing those in the world. I can show you in 8 days how to let go of all of this stuff and give you the skills and the plan and the steps to be empowered in whatever it is that's going on. And it's like £18. It's like next to nothing in order to do it. Now, I'm sharing this with you because for me, that speaks volumes. That 17,000 people can go from feeling fear to feeling empowered in 8 days by standing and saying a few words out loud and letting go of the stuff that they're handing in their energy. It's next to free. It's next to nothing. And has the potential to change billions of people's lives. Why is that not being given out as a health system? In fact, let's declare it to the universe. That is going to be the basis of the new health system. We have to move from fear to love. We have to move from fear to love. And the link to join it will be in the show notes if you want to come and find out and do it for yourself. It's freaking incredible. It's the first program I ever actually shared with EAM. But most importantly, it's a skill for you to learn. And it's easy because once you know how to do this, you can do this for yourself in any moment, not just with what's going on, but in any moment of your life, you can find what's pissing me off, what's winding me up, what's upsetting me. You can do the work on this. Human beings need love and connection more than they need food. Science has shown that human beings need love and connection is just as fundamental as food, water, and shelter. Studies have shown that love can increase your life expectancy, keeps the doctor away, literally. Not that we necessarily want to keep the good doctors away, but those are the ones. It can reduce your chances of catching a cold, viral infections, and people who are in a loving environment will recover more quickly from illnesses too. It reduces depression, it decreases anxiety. They've actually done MRI scans on people who've been involved in long-term relationships and shown that a particular part of the brain is activated, which helps them to reduce anxiety. You can reduce your stress levels, and it eases chronic and acute physical pain. We need to support our immune systems too. Support your immune system. As much as I am a massive advocate, obviously, of energy work, your physical body is simply the slowest vibrating, and I mean the lowest vibrational part of your energy field. It's not all of who you are. There are other layers, other bodies that you just don't see with these human eyes, but they can be measured and they can be seen using scientific instruments. Now, our physical body is an incredible vessel, and your immune system is incredible. You heard me talk about it earlier on in the show. I am heartbroken, having spent 22 years studying and understanding and teaching about the human body and our immune system. I am blown away by the way in which our immunity has been our body's immune system has been totally dismissed in all of this. Your body's natural immune system is freaking amazing, like amazingly intricate, incredible at identifying and eliminating things that come into your environment. It's doing it all the time, all day, every day. You have no idea how many times your immune system has saved you from crazy illnesses or cancer. You have no idea how many times your body's immune system has just dealt with it. And that's why you are here. Your immune system, without a shadow of a doubt, always has been and always will be far superior to any medication on the market. Anything. When you are in health. Now, I say in health, meaning, as we talked about earlier, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. Your immune system is much more than just taking your vitamins, although I will talk about that in a second. Your immune system comes from taking care of these other areas of your body's energy system, and that allows your body to thrive, and that allows your body to do what it does best, which is heal your body. That's what it does. It's designed to rebuild itself every year. I can't remember the exact stats, but every year, every single cell in your body is replaced. Your body is designed to heal. It is the things that we do mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically, and the things that we put into our body that screw the system up. So when your body is fed the right nutrition, and by that I mean vitamins and minerals, and that means much more than, I eat a lettuce leaf for lunch on a blah, blah, blah. I eat a lettuce and tomato and cucumber. That isn't a healthy immune system or a healthy diet. You need to be taking supplements. Every single person on the planet who is eating a Western diet, unless you are literally stepping outside and picking your fruit from your environment and picking your fruit and vegetables because they've literally been grown in the ground in the earth, which we are very blessed to be able to do in many tropical countries. Thinking back home to Jamaica. You need to be taking supplements because a Western diet particularly is massively deficient in any of those things. Everyone needs to be taking supplements every day. End of. You need to drink the right water. You need to eat the right foods. You need to avoid stress. And of course, you need to do the energy work. And like I said, I will do another episode. I'm actually going to do a workshop on this as well, on how to work with your body's immune system and how it works energetically. It is your body's flow state. When it's in an expanded space, is your body's first defense. Without a doubt, your immune system, your body in flow, your energy field in flow is the first line and most important defense against anything. All pharmaceutical medications have side effects. That is true. And somewhere along the line, where you gain in one area, you will impact another part of your system. So yes, you might get sick, and you might need to take medication. And please know that I am an advocate for health and well-being. If you need to take medication in order to support your body's energy system to heal itself, amazing. But do the work on healing whilst you allow the medication to take care of the immediate problem. Do the work on the healing. Don't just rely on the medication, because no medication is designed to heal. They are designed to reduce symptoms, eliminate symptoms, or stop systems from overreacting or causing problems. But you still need to fix or resolve whatever the thing was that caused it in the first place. And that's where spiritual, energetic, mental, emotional, and physical health, well-being, and nutrition come in. Do the work on healing yourself too. So if you have recently undergone any treatment, look into my eyes if you're watching this on video, any treatment, I want you to know that there are amazing nutritional detoxification programs you can take, simple vitamin supplements to cleanse your body and to reboost your immune system. And there are also many homeopathic remedies as well. If you speak to a really good homeopath, and I am very happy to introduce you to both of those things, let me know in the comments. I can send you some links to things that will really help, that can be taken to help reverse some of the damaging effects of these and any other medications, as well as, of course, EAMing your way through the things that come up. But there are things that you can do to support your body's immune system. Hope that helps. There is only one person, only one fact checker in the world that you should be listening to. It's always been the case. They've always been there. They've always been right when you look back. And sadly, we often ignore them until it's too late. Instead, what we tend to do is default to other sources outside of us. In doing so, we give our power away. Fact checkers said that. Fact checkers said, how many times have you heard someone say, fact checkers said that ... Who the hell made the fact checkers more important? The only fact checker that you need to listen to in the world, or should listen to, is you, is your heart. Because this is where your soul resides, and your soul and your heart only ever wants the best for you. Now, this is sometimes hard work, because we think, sometimes the voices in our head, sometimes we think they're our intuition and that it's guiding us. But there's actually, sometimes it's just your negative self-talk. Now, there's a very, very simple way to tell the difference. Your soul will never, ever, 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 ever guide you through fear. Never. It will never allow you to make a decision for yourself, for your life, for your future, that is based in logic necessarily, or like, if I don't do X, Y, Z, then X, Y, Z will happen. Your soul will never do that to you. That is coming from a place of fear. If you are making decisions with your brain alone without allowing your heart to be connected to the decision, you will end up in a very wrong place in every area of your life, not just what's going on right now. Anything which requires justification, explanation, or a story around why you have or have not, or should not, is never your soul. Never. Your soul will only ever choose love, peace, freedom, joy, and happiness for you. Only ever. The challenge that we have is learning how to listen to it. And it comes when we release the fear, when we release the blame, when we release the story, when we release the excuses. then the clarity is there, and then you will hear the true voice of your heart and soul as what to do next. So write that down, underline, tell all other fact checkers to go and do one with love, and listen into your heart and your soul. Listen into your intuition as your guidance system along the way. Some of the other things that we really need to do right now is to be working on ourselves every day. Pay attention to your emotions, okay? It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel frustration. It's okay to be peed off. It's okay to be, but just don't stay in them. Pay attention to the way that you think. Catch yourself in the moment. Am I on a train of thought that's really serving me? Or is this emotion helping me? Is what I'm doing helping me, or is it holding me back? And if it's holding you back, very simply, stop. It's time to do some EAM. It's time to release that thought, that belief, that emotion, which you can easily do with step 4 in less than 2 minutes. Step 5, create a positive thought, belief, or emotion that's going to support you and get yourself back in flow. So again, another thing that we need to be doing is speaking our truth with love. If you know from a credible source, in addition to your heart and your soul, and I'm not just talking about your intuition, the fact checker that we're going to trust, that what you see happening in the world isn't necessarily the story that's being portrayed. If you can see what's going wrong, I invite you to speak up to your friend or family member or person in your community. Please speak up. Because our silence is complicit. And yes, I know that probably what I've just said will upset people. And yes, you will probably upset people in speaking your truth, because people don't want to hear things that go against what they already know, what's already in their energy system, what they already believe, what they've already taken on board as facts. No one likes to be wrong. Even if the situation of what they've done or what they're thinking or what they're saying or what they know or what they've heard, even if it's harming them in some way, people do not like to be wrong. It's crazy. But it is how human beings are designed. It's how we're built. Yes, people are going to be offended. Yes, you will lose some friends. Yes, people will judge you. And staying silent without giving people the opportunity to choose for themselves with information, insight, and knowledge that you have is like holding back the cure for an illness when you know they could have done something about it. Now, I know that seems really emotionally loaded, but not even but. And right now, the world needs truth. The world needs love. The world needs people to make a stand, those small momentary stands for what's important. I am saying this now is say something. Be tactful, be loving, give perspective, be calm and polite in sharing it. Acknowledging this as you share it. Listen, I know that this may not fit with the way that you think or feel, or with the decision that you want to make. However, I would love to share with you another perspective so that you are able to make a fully informed choice or fully understand another alternative or to see a different picture. People need truth now more than ever. And whilst they might be angry, peed off, or offended with you, at some point they will thank you. And we need people right now who care about us to have our backs. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is about shifting our focus and birthing the new earth. Focus on what you do want, okay? We've spent so much time today in this episode talking about what's going on and what the problems are and what the challenges are. But where are you going? Where are you heading? What do we want more of? What are you giving your energy to? Because all of those things is what's getting bigger. Truth is, no one wants this situation in the general population. There are a few people on the planet who are profiting from what's going on and they do want it to continue. However, I sidetrack a little bit. If we want to shift it, we have to let it go. We have to stop giving it our energy. We have to stop wasting our time fighting it. And we have to start focusing on building the new systems, the new communities, the new healthcare, the new education, the new food and water systems, the new way of understanding ourselves and how we are, how we're really made, what we think, and how we live in this world. So I invite you today to shift your focus on what you are doing, on what you are going to focus on in terms of birthing the new earth. Each and every one of us is here right now for a reason. You asked to be here on some level. We all did. So we can either choose to perpetuate the problem, or we can choose to shift ourselves, our loved ones, our family, our wider communities, and the bigger world out of it. And I know for sure which one I am choosing. Now, as always, before we wrap up the show today, I want to just guide us through steps 4 and 5 of EAM to release this energy and for us to allow in what it is that we're truly looking to create. So I just invite you to close your eyes for me for a moment and to repeat all of these words out loud with me. We're going to do this together for humanity, for ourselves. So step 4 is called You Transform. And if you're not familiar with the 5 steps of EAM, please, you can go and see and find the full steps at www.discoveream.com/pod. But for now, just stay with me and experience this. So step 4. I am ready to release these lies, the deception and mistruths which have prevented me from listening to myself and my inner voice. They have divided, separated, wounded and broken and changed our relationships. I release this division from myself and mass consciousness. I release my anger and frustration. I release the fallout of realizing I've been lied to in so many ways. I release the frustration with myself that I didn't listen to my heart. I release this from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. We're going to repeat this another 2 times. I am ready to release the lies, deception, and mistruths which have prevented me from listening to myself and my inner voice. I release the division, separation, woundedness, and brokenness which has changed our relationships. I release the division from myself and mass consciousness. I release my anger and frustration. I release the fallout of realizing that I've been lied to. I release the frustration with myself that I didn't listen to my heart. I release this from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to release the lies, the deception and mistruths which have been shared, which have prevented me from listening to myself and my inner voice. I release the division, separation, woundedness that has changed my relationships. I release the division from myself and mass consciousness. I release my anger and frustration. I release the fallout of realizing I've been lied to in so many ways, and the frustration that I didn't fully listen to my heart. I release this from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. Nice deep breath in. Step 5 now, we're going to send this out for ourselves and to the planet. And again, repeating this 3 times, so bear with me. So closing your eyes, I invite you to join me as we send this out to everyone on the planet. I am ready to allow myself to be a beacon of light, to stand for love, for truth, for unity and connection. I stand for empowerment and freedom in everything I do. I allow this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to allow the work to open their eyes and see, to realize that the power lies within them, and to know that it was theirs all along. I am ready to see and feel my truth, connect with love, unity, passion, and kindness wherever I am and whatever I do. I allow all of this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. I am ready to allow the world to see the truth in everything, to realize the power lies with each and every one of us. I open up and listen to my heart and allow it to guide me safely along the way, in coming together, reconnecting, creating unity, truth, and loving conversations. I allow all of this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. Nice deep breath in and out. Just remember, the power comes from within us, being united and standing in our truth. Now, if you've loved today's show, which I hope you have, I really, truly hope you have enjoyed, remember, you have the power within you. It's time to open our eyes and see. It's time for us to speak the truth and allow ourselves to be more empowered, in alignment within ourselves, listening to our intuition more than ever. If you love the podcast, please subscribe, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, like, follow, wherever you are. Leave us a 5-star rating and review, and remember to visit www.discoveream.com. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and the top and the bottom, and the width and the breadth of my heart and my soul, for spending the time with me here. And remember, whatever you're doing, you have the power to change this by changing your state. It's all a choice. And we can together create ripples of energy to send out onto this planet far wider than you can ever imagine. But for now, stay in alignment.